with conflict between the sees of Constantinople, Alexandria and Antioch. St. John Chrysostom, a priest from Antioch, was named Bishop of Constantinople in 403. Theophilus, Pope of Alexandria, feared Antioch's influence over the imperial court at Constantinople and sought to depose Chrysostom. Although Theophilus was initially unsuccessful, Chrysostom eventually lost favour with the empress and was deposed and exiled. He appealed for help from Pope Innocent I in Rome, who excommunicated the officials of Constantinople for their treatment of Chrysostom. Chrysostom died in exile. Meanwhile, the Western Empire was collapsing, and Rome was sacked by the Arian Visigoths in 410. The Visigoths then relocated to Spain. During this time, St. Augustine, Bishop of Hippo, led the church in Africa. Augustine combated the Donatists, who, similar to the Novatianists, challenged the right of apostates to administer sacraments, as well as Pelagians, who asserted that the sacraments were not necessary for people who were strong enough to live a holy life through their own effort. In addition, the bishops of Africa became increasingly frustrated by appeals from their subjects to the Pope in Rome, and forbade this practice at the Council of Carthage in 419. This quarrel culminated in the Optarimus in 426, a letter written by the African bishops to Pope Celestine I, in which they angrily objected to the Pope interfering in the judicial discipline of the churches in Africa. The quarrel was brought to an end by the conquest of North Africa by the Vandals in the years 429 to 439. The Vandals were Arian and oppressed the local Catholics. St. Augustine died during the siege of Hippo by the Vandals in the year 430. The feud between Constantinople, Alexandria and Antioch resumed with the appointment of Nestorius, a priest from Antioch, to the bishopric of Constantinople in 428. Nestorius was from a theological school in Antioch that emphasized the humanity of Christ and sought to explain how the human Jesus became united to the divine Logos. Christians in this time were honoring Mary as the Theotokos, the Mother of God, but Nestorius opposed this practice, saying that Mary was merely the mother of Christ. Nestorius was accused of heresy by Pope Cyril of Alexandria. Cyril received approval from Pope Celestine in Rome to depose Nestorius at the Council of Ephesus in 431. Patriarch John I of Antioch, no doubt perturbed that Alexandria was deposing an Antiochene bishop of Constantinople for the second time in 30 years, at first refused to accept the council, setting up his own rival council. However, John eventually relented and agreed to the deposition of Nestorius. Saint Cyril of Alexandria's writings on the Nestorian controversy became widely celebrated throughout the Eastern Church, including in the region of Antioch. The followers of Nestorius at first congregated around the school of Edessa, but in 489 were forced by Byzantine Emperor Zeno to flee to the Sassanid Empire in Persia. The Sassanid Empire was happy to tolerate Christians in its borders, as long as they were in schism with the religion of its primary enemy, the Byzantine Empire. And so the Church of the East became Nestorian and spread as far east as China in the following centuries.